New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell and her bodyguard are facing some serious criminal charges and may just find themselves in prison. I just happen to have the inside scoop and all of the scandalous details, including what they did, who was involved, how they got caught, and what this means for the city of New Orleans. But before we get into this, do me a favor, smash that like button, share this with someone else, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me to get discovered in the algorithm and helps me to deliver more videos just like this. Now let's dive into the details. For the first time in New Orleans history, a sitting mayor faces federal indictment. That's right, you heard it correctly. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell is accused of public corruption, cover-up, and the misuse of taxpayer funds. But that's not it. Cantrell's bodyguard was also charged in a federal indictment. The superseding federal indictment names both Mayor Cantrell and her former bodyguard, New Orleans police officer Jeffrey Vappie. Prosecutors charged them both with conspiracy, wire fraud, obstruction of justice, and false declarations before a grand jury. And they can be facing up to 20 years on each count. Now here's what's alleged. Federal prosecutors say that the mayor and her bodyguard concealed a romantic relationship while misusing city funds. And we're not talking about just a little bit of money. We're talking over $70,000 in just under 4 years. And that doesn't even include Cantrell's expenses. That's just for Vappie alone. Let's see what the government has to say about this.
In October of 2021, Mayor Cantrell and Jeffrey Vappie, a member of her executive protection team, developed a personal, intimate relationship. From that time until Mr. Vappie's retirement in June of 2024, they embarked on a scheme to defraud the city of New Orleans and the New Orleans Police Department.
Vappie allegedly billed taxpayers for duty hours while spending personal time with the mayor, sometimes inside a city-owned apartment, other times on trips around the world. And make sure you watch this video all the way to the end, because I'm going to expose some details about this case that no other executive protection agent in this business is willing to talk about. Investigators say that they uncovered more than 15,000 WhatsApp messages, many which were later deleted or set to disappear on their own. 3 of the trips in question include a trip to San Francisco, which Cantrell and Vappie extended to go to Napa Valley on a wine tour, and also a 3-day trip to Washington, D.C., which the couple deemed as necessary. Here's the timeline that the government alleges in their charging documents. In May of 2021, Vappie was assigned to the mayor's protection detail. That September, Vappie starts going out of town with the mayor on security details. In November of 2021, it is alleged that Cantrell and Vappie started dating. In March of 2022, Vappie and Cantrell began to leave each other notes and voicemails. But in November of 2022, news about the apartment breaks and Vappie is reassigned to a different unit. In January 2023, the feds begin to expand their investigation after Jeffrey Vappie's wife, Danielle Vappie, reports the affair between her husband and Mayor Cantrell to the authorities. But here's the kicker. Danielle Vappie isn't some ordinary housewife. She's a powerhouse in the city of New Orleans herself. And this story goes from dark to grim, leaving casualties in the wake of the affair, most notably Jason Cantrell, Mayor LaToya Cantrell's husband, who suffered a massive heart attack on August 15, 2023, literally dying from a broken heart. I find it ironic that both Jeffrey Vappie and Jason Cantrell looked exactly alike. I guess LaToya has a type. Scandalous, right? Well, keep watching, because I told you that I had some inside scoop that no one else knows or is willing to talk about. And by the end of this video, I am going to expose just how morally corrupt Mayor LaToya Cantrell and her bodyguard, Jeffrey Vappie, really are. If you're interested in a career in executive protection, protecting high-profile VIPs, then I highly recommend that you check out classes from our sponsor, the MVP School of Executive Protection. We're the fastest growing executive protection school in the world, training hundreds of students each year and preparing them for high-profile, high-stakes executive protection careers. To learn more about this opportunity, click the link in the video or down below in the description. Now back to the story. After Vappie's wife reported the affair between Mayor Cantrell and her husband, Vappie is alleged to have approached the acting superintendent of police, Michelle Woodford, and asked her to throw out the charges against him and the mayor. The superintendent upheld the charges, but for some reason allowed Vappie to return to the mayor's executive protection detail. That September, an angry LaToya Cantrell ousted Michelle Woodford and replaced her with the new superintendent. In June of 2024, Jeffrey Vappie retires. And just a few weeks ago, this August 2025, both Cantrell and Vappie were indicted. This case just isn't about a salacious relationship between two consenting adults. Federal prosecutors say that this was downright fraud.
By exploiting Vappie's job and Cantrell's authority as mayor to have the city and the New Orleans Police Department pay Vappie's salary and expenses during the times that Vappie claimed to be on duty, but when he was actually engaged in personal activities, usually with Ms. Cantrell.
As part of the scheme, it is alleged that Cantrell had Vappie accompany her on at least 14 out-of-state trips, falsely claiming that she needed protection for safety concerns. Here are the charges that Cantrell and Vappie are charged with: conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to obstruct justice, false statements, and false declarations before a grand jury. It should be noted that this is not the first time that Mayor Cantrell has been investigated in a city corruption probe. It is, however, the first time that federal prosecutors have decided to go after her. So what's next for the embattled mayor? The next steps are arraignment, motions, and a trial, or a possible plea deal. And now for those juicy details that I've been telling you about that no one knows or is willing to talk about. And what I'm about to tell you will prove to you just how low the moral compass for LaToya Cantrell and Jeffrey Vappie really runs. Remember that I told you Jeffrey Vappie's wife, Danielle Vappie, wasn't just a regular ordinary housewife? She in fact is a high-profile public figure in the city of New Orleans. Danielle Vappie is a high-flying, highly decorated principal for the Village de l'Est Elementary School.
My name is Danielle Vappie. I'm the principal here at Village de l'Est Elementary School, and we're ready to welcome our students back into the building.
Not only did LaToya Cantrell know who Danielle Vappie was, she also shared the center stage with her. Right about the same time she started sleeping with her husband. I told you that it was gonna get juicy. Some of you all are asking, how does he know all of that? Well, I'm glad you asked. On June 10, 2021, Mayor Cantrell broke ground on the $2.7 million Village de l'Est multi-purpose building. Remember that Village de l'Est is the school that Danielle Vappie happens to be the principal for. And during that groundbreaking, Danielle Vappie happened to be present with Mayor Cantrell. And here are the photos to prove it. This is Mayor Cantrell, and this lady right here is Danielle Vappie. And because of Danielle Vappie's status in the city of New Orleans, it is said that this is not the very first time that Mayor Cantrell has shared the stage with her. She knew exactly who Danielle Vappie was and who Jeffrey Vappie was to her. And when it comes to integrity, morality, and character, it doesn't get any lower than that. And speaking of integrity, check out what this department investigation had to say about Jeffrey Vappie.
Newly released Public Integrity Bureau reports say Vappie was also photographed drinking alcohol while on the clock with the mayor at two French Quarter restaurants, Tableau and Doris Metropolitan. One of the investigations an outside law firm conducted for the NOPD says Vappie and the mayor appear to be toasting on the Tableau restaurant balcony. The NOPD sustained 13 violations against Vappie, including use of alcohol while on duty, neglect of duty, and the use of a firearm while drinking alcohol.
I've been in the executive protection business for over 30 years, and the majority of my clients happen to be women. And not once have I ever had an inappropriate relationship with one of my principals. I was always told never to sleep where you poop at, and I've taken that to heart. Unfortunately, it appears that Jeffrey Vappie didn't get the same school of thought, and I'm sure when it's all said and done, that he's going to pay the price for it. If you work in executive protection and you find yourself in a situation like this, the best thing that you can do is not to be married, recuse yourself from the assignment if you want to continue the relationship, and lastly, to report it to your superiors so that there is no allegations that may come later on down the line. This is the Mayor Cantrell public corruption case. I'm all over it. Stay tuned to my channel for updates.
You are watching Good TV.